You're watching On Demand. Please check the closing time before trying to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you're very well. Lovely camera work from Steve on 3.
What? Zooming through.
Kicking off Wednesday morning for you. Hi, Sian.
Hello, again.
How are things?
Good, it's Wednesday.
You said that surprised, like...
I genuinely am surprised I keep getting us back.
You invite me back. Yeah, I know. I'm still surprised as well. How's hump day for you so far?
Yeah, I was going to say, normally hump day sort of wake up a bit meh, don't you? But not today. I was buzzing for today's show because there's like so much good stuff coming up. I can't wait for it.
Planned today. Here's what's coming up. I think this is why you're excited. It's the hit documentary is currently topping the old Netflix charts. Take a look at this.
I'd never heard of a case where the kidnappers dropped their victim at the front door of their house.
We thought she's this innocent victim. She looks more like a suspect.
Police now wondering, is Huskins a real-life Gone Girl?
And news is so dramatic, isn't it?
I love it.
In just a moment, discussing the shocking true story behind American Nightmare with our very own criminologist David Wilson and star of the series, crime reporter Henry Lee.
I can't wait to get quizzing them. I go into reporter mode and start thinking that I'm also an investigator.
Oh, well, I'll just take a step back. I'm looking forward to this.
I know nothing, but I just think I do. Now, look, as our comfort week continues, get ready for a spectacular meal. Do you approve of that, Donald?
That's okay, I guess.
It's the best.
Is this going to be all morning?
Yeah, no, please.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, you're in the kitchen this morning with a potato masterclass, aren't you?
Yes, you brought in the token Irishman to make the potato masterclass. I'm not seeing any connections here at all.
If you can invade it, I was going to have to do it, basically.
Yeah, of course, of course. We have delicious potatoes. We've got jacket potatoes and mashed potatoes. They're all coming your way. It's going to be delicious.
But Donald, it's a stereotype for a reason, because A, we love them. And B, we do them really well.
And we do them well.
Oh, I'm loving this. I wouldn't trust anyone who didn't like a potato.
I can't wait for your mash masterclass.
We've got some secrets. It's
Really?
simple, but it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Also on today's show, she taught us to never cross a traitor.
What is on the flag of Wales?
A dragon.
You throw me under the bus. Okay?
Oh, no,
That's
100%.
what I would be.
He was a traitor.
Oh, as we reach the final week of the traitors, we're going to be getting a lesson in treachery from the Welsh dragon herself. Amanda is going to be joining us in the studio.
It's so exciting for me.
I love her.
I think she's up there with Austin Butler this week for you.
Maybe more so. I can't wait to meet her. I'm going to be starstruck.
After another dramatic week in Soapland, Sharon Marshall is here with all the latest gossip. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, guys. Yes, talking of traitors and cheats, I basically looked at this and I realised if your name's Tracy and you're in a soap, then you're basically cheating on your fella.
I love that.
Lovely.
Now, look, it's also the first time we're going to be seeing Sam since he managed to secure his very own world record.
For the most hugs given in a minute by an individual with a record to beat of 87, you achieved 88.
The freedom assurum.
They're so lovely.
They're great, wouldn't they?
Yeah, what a lovely place to be as well.
It kind of looked... The hugs, I know you love a hug, it looks a little bit stressful.
Yeah, do you know what? The worst thing is you kind of have to throw them to one side afterwards. You
Chuck them away.
I feel terrible about
It's
it.
only when the camera gave them the top, you were like, yeah.
Out you go. Next one in.
Them away. How does it feel, though, to be a record breaker?
Do you know, it feels really good. It's pride of place on the mantelpiece, right? There's quite a big plaque, though, so Zara's like, where am I going to put this?
Well, do you know what? We wanted to make it proper official on this show, so we've invited a very special guest to the show. Come on in, Joanne!
Dr. Joanne! Yes, Joanne! Oh, hello!
Oh,
Sorry.
Thank you. It was very appropriate. Very appropriate given the record title that you have managed to achieve. It's a lot harder to attempt this record than it looks, but you have successfully set the record at 88 for the most hugs given in a minute. Congratulations, you're officially amazing.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
Officially amazing. Speech!
Joanne, you were so good down there in Shoreham. We were sort of like, you know, we were over the moon that Sam got the record, but we were like, her delivery, like, that was like old school X Factor style. You kept him hanging for ages. The cameras cut around, and then you just went, "You've passed."
Yes, exactly. And the rules are applied to everyone, so I have to be very strict on those.
You were
First event
totally
was
strict.
Disqualified. Second time you were successful. So keep trying. You might just get a world record.
Joe, what's on the cards today? Have you got another record to adjudicate today, or is it admin day?
I've got a lot of evidence reviews. We've got a lot of records to get through.
Lovely. All right. Thanks for joining us.
John, everyone! I love you, John. I really love you.
Congratulations.
Sam, you're going to be talking about the Oscars later, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely, mate. I'm actually a big Oscars fan. I used to stay up late and watch them when I was a little bit younger, so this is going to be really cool.
It doesn't surprise me that you stay up. I can't imagine you ever sleeping.
Do you know what? For something like that, because I was at film studies, the only thing I was ever good at, so I used to try and come in and be like, I know who won. None of you do. I'm going to get an A and you won't. And then I didn't. I tried.
You'll get an A today, my friends. Come on. Looking forward to it. Before all of that, it's the hit documentary, which is topping the Netflix charts all around the world.
Yes, American Nightmare. It tells the story of a shocking true crime case that was once dubbed the real-life Gone Girl.
But as viewers have quickly found out, the reality is far darker than any blockbuster you could find in the cinema. Take a look.
Tell me what happened.
I wake up. Bright light blinding us. Taser goes off. And I see they're wearing wetsuits.
Did she, discover something? Found text messages. Is she mad? Oh, she's cheating? I didn't do anything. Yeah, you did.
Oh, my God, it's her.
You thought she's this innocent victim. She looks more like a suspect.
Police now wondering, is Huskins a real-life Gone Girl?
Can this get any stranger?
Who's really behind all of this?
And they get an email confessing to the crime. Did we all get this wrong?
Fascinating. You've watched a few of these.
I've watched the first one. I'm so hooked.
We are joined now by our very own criminologist, David Wilson, and crime reporter Henry Lee, who starred in the series and joining us live from San Francisco. Thanks for joining us, Henry. We'll come to you in a second, but David, let's start with you. This is an astounding case. Can you give us a little bit of background for people that aren't familiar with it?
Sure, but first things first, Sean, I know this is your first week in the hot seat and you're smashing it. Well done.
Thank you so much. I'm normally quizzing you downstairs in the green room, aren't I? I love your chats.
And so this is a three-part documentary series, which is true crime. True crime often hides a variety of output from, the sorts of true crime which are quite frivolous to something which is superior. And this is superior. It's about a couple, Aaron and Denise. Denise is going to be kidnapped from the bedroom that she's sharing with Aaron. Aaron is drugged. He wakes up. He reports the matter to the police. And then all kinds of events follow. Now, what's particularly good about the series is in the first episode, it concentrates on Aaron. And Aaron is going to go to the police station because he's reported his girlfriend has been kidnapped. The police instantaneously decide that he's a suspect. American detectives are trained in a particular technique called the Reid technique. The Reid technique, when they're interrogating people, is to create a confrontational atmosphere, to really focus and make it stressful for the person who's going to be interviewed. And here's the crucial thing, Dermot. American detectives can lie.
I read this, and it makes no sense to me how they're able to get away with this.
They can say, we have your DNA on the murder victim's body. We've got a witness, Sean, who can place you at the scene of the crime. None of which has to be true. They can lie. And there's a particular lie that's told in the first episode to poor Aaron when he's just taken the lie detector test. Let's have a look at the clip.
Great.
All right, Aaron, there's no question in my mind that you failed this test. So was it an accident? She's gone. She's gone, and you know she's gone. No, yes, she's gone. You're going to lose the respect of your family. You're going to destroy them because they're going to defend you, and everything that they've worked hard for will get flushed down the toilet.
I mean, you can only think by looking at that how many miscarriages of justice there must be in the States. Because that's just disingenuously leading a suspect.
And the Reid technique very much has led to a number of false confessions and then, of course, miscarriages of justice. But once you decide that this person, that you are the culprit, then it creates what's called confirmation bias. The police begin to only accept evidence that supports their bias, you're guilty, and they ignore all the other information which might have demonstrated that, in fact, you were innocent.
That seems so unfair because, for example, he was in that sort of cell or whatever you call it, the waiting room, whatever, for 18 hours straight. You're tired, you're hungry, you're stressed. If you've got someone continually telling you you're lying, you're wrong, you did it, I can imagine by the end of the day you wouldn't know what you'd done.
And look how the police officer in that particular clip puts his hand on Aaron's shoulder, as if he's comforting him, as if he's trying to be his friend. But what we see here is confirmation bias. And again, we've got a good clip where one of the lawyers, who's in fact Denise's lawyer, Aaron's girlfriend, is going to talk about confirmation bias.
There's not been one discrepancy in her story. How can you possibly believe she's lying? And he says to me, haven't you seen the movie Gone Girl? How could this person who's charged with investigating crime think that this is like a Ben Affleck movie? That's Hollywood. This is real life. He is so sure that he is right. It's called confirmation bias.
One of the other things which is real life and stranger than fiction, stranger than anything we saw in Gone Girl, frankly, is that the perpetrator, spoiler alert, starts sending emails to wonderful Henry Lee, a reporter.
Yeah, we saw this, Henry, and I'd just love to know, first of all, what made them reach out to you in particular, do you think?
Well, I wake up very early in the morning. I was one of the first, probably the first reporter to post online a story about Denise's kidnapping. So I think that he latched on. I was at the San Francisco Chronicle newspaper at the time. He said, that's the newspaper of record. Let me use this poor guy as a conduit for communication.
Wow. I think there is a key moment in the documentary where it shows that moment where you're getting this email and you're sort of at the scene of the crime.
Then one final email, they say, we are 3 acquaintances, 2 of which are college grads. They're almost trying to identify themselves to prove to me and others that we did what we did. Then finally, they say, if Denise and Aaron don't get an apology from Vallejo police, we're going to do it again.
Henry, can I ask you, when you first started finding out about this case, do you think that you subconsciously had confirmation bias because of the information you were getting?
Well, traditionally, journalists, at least in the U.S., we are almost trained to say, well, if the police say something happened, then it must be true. Now, keep in mind, we've just confirmed that police here in the States can lie to suspects. So it goes to reason that perhaps sometimes they may not know what they're talking about. So this case has made very clear we must take anything that anyone tells us with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and you must have started getting suspicious when you handed over voice notes and emails that you were getting from, the potential perpetrator, and weren't the police almost ignoring you?
Right. They rarely tell the media anything about their ongoing investigations. When I first got what we call a proof of life audio file and then all these emails, I needed confirmation. I needed some kind of response from the police. They didn't give me anything because they were up to their ears in this very bizarre case with all these kinds of details that you could not believe.
It's so mad. And I suppose, like you say, if you're just going off what the police are telling you, taking it as read...
Why wouldn't you?
Then suddenly the media now plays a role in it, doesn't it? Because you're now spreading that same storyline.
That's right, because, we are told, hey, if the police said this is true, then it must be true. And then we are, again, promulgating this to the public. And, of course, who are we to be skeptical of the police? Because they are the ones who are putting bad guys in jail. They're the ones who bring cases to the prosecutor's office, and they must bring evidence in order to convict someone. So in this case, we were on the road to believing that a kidnapping did not occur until things changed.
Henry, has this changed the way you go about your job and your role now? Like, how has this affected you?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we always, I mean, this is a one and done case. One would argue that all the things came together into this big case that may never, ever be replicated in my lifetime. But we do have to be very careful. Anything that anyone tells us, we must investigate. You must take a look. Step back and say, wait a minute, how do you know this, police? Get a second source, get a third source, talk to the defense attorneys, talk to witnesses to make sure that you can put a cohesive report that fills in any gaps in the record.
It's mad. David, do you ever think they'll change the way the American police do those interrogations? Because we've seen stuff like similar in Making a Murderer and other sort of true crime shows where before you know it, they've made their mind up before they've even done a real investigation.
Well, and in fact, you mentioned Making a Murderer, and Brendan Darcy, his interview is very much the Reid technique and how it will lead to miscarriages of justice. No, I think the American criminal justice system feels that, by and large, it's getting it right in relation to these things. I was very interested in Dermot's question to you, Henry, because what I think the confirmation bias becomes bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Once the public become involved and the public themselves become confirmationally biased in relation to the narrative that's being propagated by the media. We saw that in this country with the Nicola Bulley case. And once that narrative starts, it's very difficult to change the narrative.
The responsibility is so grave, isn't it? For
It really and the police. It really is, and you can't put that genie back in the bottle. You can't stop people thinking, oh, I call it true crime brain. Oh, it must be the husband. Oh, that never happened. It must be Gone Girl. It's very, very clear that we are in a zeitgeist moment, and we have to accept that these programs have huge impacts on people's thinking. And I love this series primarily because it is educating people about the police's investigation, the misogyny, and it's holding a mirror up to what police investigations are like and the difficulties faced by women, especially if they're going to claim rape or kidnap.
Thank you, Henry, thank you so much for joining us. I don't imagine the hour is too hospitable in San Francisco right now, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thanks, David, as well. American Nightmare is available on Netflix now. Thanks.
Everyone's going to be binge-watching this now. It's quite a roller coaster of a story.
Still to come, if payday still feels like a long time away, if you're struggling with your household bills, personal finance experts Ken and Mary Okorofa are here with advice and guidance you need.
Yes, and he's back in the saddle and hitting the open road. John Turode is continuing his foodie adventure around Somerset. We will see you after the break.
Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Opening the doors to our This Morning surgery a little bit later. Dr. Zoe's with us today to take your calls in another Ask Your GP. Dr. Zoe, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Dermot? How are you doing over there?
Thank you. All good. So who do you want to hear from today?
Open phone in today. Anything related to your health? Is there something that's been bothering you but you've been putting off getting it checked over? Give me a call, or maybe you just can't get an appointment at the moment. Anything, give me a call and I'll do what I can to help.
Oh, yes, definitely get involved. Dr. Zoe just makes it so friendly. So all you need to do is call us for free on 08000 30 40 44, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right now to get involved using our free This Morning app. But if you are going to get in touch, please do by 11:15 today, and you must be 18 or over.
Yeah. Now, the cost of living crisis is far from over. Many households in the UK, with almost 8 million people struggling to meet their financial obligations every single month.
Yeah, and with payday, it still feels, you know, weeks away. It's days away for many. If you are struggling to pay off your bills, financial experts Ken and Mary Okorofa are here joining us to help. Good morning to both.
Morning.
Good
Hello,
morning.
good morning.
I
Good
feel
to have
like...
you with us, guys.
Oh,
yeah, we're making a spectacular debut already.
We're saying we're all very colour-coordinated.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
Join a local harmony band after this, the four of us looking good. It could be a Eurovision entry.
Oh, come on. Couldn't we do X Factor? Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because I feel like so many people are having financial problems at the moment. Why is that?
Well, we've had years of rising costs, and at the same time, our wages haven't actually increased at the same rate. And so where maybe your food shop would have cost maybe £50 a week, now it's costing, say, £90 a week. And then to add, you've got shrinkflation, so you're still paying for the same thing, but it's smaller. So we've had years of rising interest rates, 2 years of rising interest rates, the base rate at 5.25%. It means, again, that people's mortgages, their monthly payments have increased. And so people are just feeling a squeeze and that they don't have much of a buffer.
And that can be so drastic. I was listening to the radio not long ago, and there was a lady with, I think she had a kid, and she's basically homeless. And she said, I'm not, like, she's got a full-time job.
Wow.
But she cannot afford, her rent goes up. And she said, now I've got to move out and got to move back in with my mum for a while and try and find... Because all my costs are going up, but my wage isn't going up.
Absolutely.
So, you're talking today about how to manage that debt and how to look at it, right? So, you want to focus first on priority debts. Let's start with you, Ken. Why should we deal with these first?
So, priority debts are debts that have a large consequence for non-payment. So, things like mortgage payments or mortgage arrears, rent arrears, council tax, for example, energy and heating costs, light and heat costs, are priority debts. We should look at those first because the non-payment of those could lead to other consequences. You might lose supply to your property, you might get evicted and so on. But you've got non-priority debts, things like credit card payments, overdrafts, payday loans. Although they're important, you want to prioritise the ones that are key because of the consequence of not paying them.
Of course. So let's start with energy bills. So if you're struggling with energy bills, what's your advice?
OK, so it's important to recognise that the regulator, Ofgem, has important rules around this in that energy companies actually have to listen to their customers. They have to work with them if they're struggling with non-payment or not being able to pay for a period of time. So they can pause your payments for a period. They can reduce your payments if you need it to happen. They could extend the period you've got to make those payments. Effectively, they have to work with you to come up with an effective payment plan that actually works for you and works for them as well.
That is good to know, because I think a lot of people, you just take it as gospel that if you've got a direct debit, you have to pay it, and you don't even know you can have a conversation about it. I know a few of them have come forward to say, E.ON have said that if their customers are struggling to pay their bills, they can get in touch to find out what's available. They have the E.ON Next Energy Fund, which provides direct financial support. Have you heard about this?
Yes, and I actually spoke to E.ON on the phone about this, and one thing I've noticed with them is that, for example, even if you had, say, an arrears, make it up £150 arrears, so long as you make some payment, let's say you made £15 payment, that stops that being escalated even further. You know? But what a lot of us struggle with is not communicating. I think it's the communication. There's a lot going on in life, and we get it. There's so much going on. But it's important to pick up the phone and speak to them.
100%. And it isn't just E.ON. British Gas says it has a £100 million support package in place for customers who are struggling. And Octopus Energy has also doubled its Octo Assist Fund to £30 million.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So there's a few...
The
like
help
you say,
is there.
The help is there, but we don't always think to go there. So.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mary,
definitely. Sorry.
Let's talk credit cards. So it's a way to get creditors from credit card companies to stop chasing you while you're dealing with those priority debts.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you guys mentioned, call them, contact them. There are actually humans at the other end of the line. And just be honest and transparent about the fact that you're actually struggling to make those payments. And maybe they can seek some debt repayment plans for you. But also they will be able to offer you some level of support. But it's actually having that conversation, because some people they're too fearful to do that.
Or you'd be terrified, you feel like you're being hounded by calls and you're just ignoring them, aren't you?
Exactly. And then, but if that's something that you're uncomfortable doing, maybe seek advice from citizens' advice bureaus. There's lots of organisations that can actually help you. You've got Step Change, you've got Christians Against Poverty as well. And it's really important to know your rights, as to the point that you mentioned. Energy companies, they have certain rules that they need to follow when they're actually trying to get your debt. So if you feel like you're being harassed or they're applying unnecessary force, then you may have grounds for complaint. So it's about knowing what your rights are. And consumer credit, I think it's called consumer credit debt, is a good place where to look.
So they do actually have a responsibility there. Like, it's not all on you. They need to look after you and work out something to help.
Absolutely.
Again, if that's not possible, what else can you do to repay a credit card bill? So, because, I mean, there's practicality involved. There's also pride. Like, I mean, pride's such a huge thing for people, isn't it? But you want to talk about, like, a 0% cut. Like, can that work?
Well,
is that a thing?
those are available. So imagine you've got lots of credit card debt. There is an option, if you wanted to explore balance transfer credit cards. But it's very important to know that you have to be careful, because there are transfer fees related. And so the benefit of moving that money from, say, one credit card to another might not really pay off in the long term if you end up then using that new credit card to keep sponsoring your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's...
But a lot of this is, some of this is personal responsibility, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this speaks to lifestyle. You know, lifestyle's a big thing at the minute. And one thing that's not helping everybody at the moment is the buy now, pay later options, the ease with which we can access credit. I don't know about you, but if you're shopping online almost every day now, you know, you look to your left or right, there's always something saying you can flex that payment.
Yeah, here's your payment plan.
Yeah.
Pay over 3 months.
It feels like the last, and there's, you know, I've sort of watched documentaries about this, and so many financial aspects that come back, whether it's a house or a TV. Like, we've been almost drunk on cheap money for so long, and it couldn't continue, right?
Yeah, we've become massively indebted as a nation, and debt has become normalised. It's become the norm. In fact, it's quite rare now to meet people who are debt-free, you know, who don't sponsor their lifestyles from debt. So it's very important to just realise that there is actually help out there, and borrowing from tomorrow to live for today is never really a good idea long term.
Did someone say debt-free? It's where this bad boy comes from.
Oh, I see. There we go.
Financial joy, banish debt, grow your money, unlock your financial freedom, and 10 weeks to Ken and Mary. Tell you what, I would not want to be one of your children in a discussion with mum and dad. There's no way they're going to get...
So, pocket money. I'm taking the tax off that. You owe VAT on that.
This is important. Like, before we let you guys go, it's important to check if you can get extra help, right? Because there are benefits available for people.
Yes, absolutely. So just check the government website. So you've got things like the winter fuel payment. So for adults who are born from before 25th of September 1957, you can get entitlement, you can get support. And you've got also the cold weather payment, the winter fuel, warm home discounts as well. So if you're in receipt of some pension credits or low-income households, they could also get a discount towards their energy.
Marriage allowance as well. It's like...
Oh, yeah. So
What's
there are many benefits that people don't know that they can actually access. So if you're a married couple or in a civil partnership, you can actually get this marriage allowance. Essentially, if you have unused personal allowances in a year, you could move some of it over to your partner, and it could save you around £252 in your tax bill per year, and you can backdate it up to 4 years going backwards as well, which is very helpful. And there are things around like childcare. You know,
so for parents who have children, there's something called the tax-free childcare allowance, and with that you can be entitled for up to £2,000 a year per child, and if the child is disabled it could be up to £4,000 a year towards childcare costs such as nursery fees and also childminders.
That's a big one at the minute as well. A lot of people will be very useful to look into that.
Sean, you're engaged. I saw you perk up. I saw you perk up on that marriage allowance. Maybe I'll just hurry this along a little bit.
I was going to postpone the wedding a little bit, but actually,
lovely. But what's important is that although 1.3 million people are entitled to tax-free childcare, around 800,000 people are not actually claiming those benefits. So it's just money left on the table.
The same with the marriage allowance as well. 2.1 million people in the UK could actually get this, but they're not aware it exists.
This is why we need you two in our lives. No one tells us this stuff. Thank you, Ken and Mary.
Financial joy, banishing debt, grow your money and unlock financial freedom in 10 weeks. Congratulations, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you with us. Cheers. Still to come, John Torode exploring the incredible Somerset countryside before stopping off to make a delicious apple and cider cake. Oh, yeah.
Lovely. And could warm milk and a pinch of salt be the secret to a perfect cup of tea? What am I reading? This is disgusting. We're going to be discussing that and the rest of today's top stories with Nick and Isla back right after this.
Tomorrow, Donal takes a trip to northern Scotland to earn a crust in the home of shortbread.
Oh, I am in heaven.
And taking it down to the wire.
Listen to me, you stood on a vault.
Vicky McClure pulls the trigger on the drama that will have you on the edge of your seat. Tomorrow on This Morning.
Talking about how we're going to have a big Knots day when Vicky McClure comes.
Come on, up the East Midlands, yes. We love
her. He is back with more stunning scenery and fabulous food. John Torode continuing his two-wheel tour of wonderful county of Somerset.
Today, I'm in the Mendip Hills, and this area of natural beauty is home to stunning lakes, spectacular gorges, and acres of rolling hills.
As a keen cyclist, nothing fills me with joy more than a traffic-free path. And the Strawberry Line is as sweet as it sounds.
The Strawberry Line was the nickname of the Cheddar Valley Line until the late 1960s. It was nicknamed as such due to the sheer volume of strawberries that came along the railway line to London and Birmingham markets in the 1800s.
It's just beautiful. From Strawberry Line to Apple Orchard, and after all that cycling, I've got up a thirst. And there's only one drink to have in Somerset. It's got to be cider.
Somerset is synonymous with cider, and there are more than 400 different types of cider apples grown in the area. I've cycled up the Strawberry Line to Thatcher's, that's been making cider here for over 118 years. Let's see if I can find myself a drink.
So this machine is called a...
shaker.
It's called a shaker. Fair enough. And then on the floor here, all the apples, what happens to them?
So the next job is to get them picked up as quick as possible and transported into the mill so we can press them.
But that's not by hand or in a bucket?
No, that's one person driving an apple harvester, picking up all those apples very quickly, very efficiently.
So onto a truck, over to the mill, and then we go from there and we start making cider.
Correct.
It's going to take quite a long time for my pint, I think. That is a truckload of apples. Apparently there's 12 tons of apples in that truck. 12 tons. Apples out of the truck, up the belts, into there. So now they're being washed. I like they're dancing, look, they're so cool. Amazing, really, and the next time we see these apples, there'll be a pint of cider. From orchard to glass. It's definitely wet the whistle. And it means now I'm also a bit peckish. Inspired by this extraordinary orchard, I thought the only thing I could do really is do something with apples and cider. My grandmother used to make the most amazing apple cake, and this one I've sort of adapted by putting some cider in there because it just makes it all that little bit more moist and delicious. I've got some Granny Smiths and some Bramley apples, and there's a reason for that. One keeps its shape, which is the Granny Smith when it cooks, but the Bramley breaks down. Apples into a pan, and then add to that cider. A little bit of sweetener, but I'm going to use maple syrup rather than sugar, and then a good amount of cinnamon. Who doesn't like apple and cinnamon? Think apple pies. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in there. Let that come up to the boil. Now, a great cake, a great pudding is usually about equal quantities of sugar, butter, flour and eggs. In this bowl, I have got butter and sugar, which I've creamed together.
Add to the bowl your vanilla essence, whip that together until creamy, and then add 2 of your 4 eggs.
And the more air you can get in here, the lighter your sponge. And then the other 2, and a little tiny splash of milk. Whip that together.
Now for the dry mixture. Put the baking powder and the flour together, then add 3/4 of that dry mixture to the bowl.
When you've mixed a cake, the more you can aerate the cake, the more light and fluffy it'll become. Touch of milk, not very much, and then the rest of that flour. So now we've got this lovely, almost spiced apple jam.
Take some of your spiced apple mixture and fold it into your cake mix. Plop it into a 20-centimetre tin and whack it into the oven at 180 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes.
At this time of year, apple harvest, I also think blackberries, so I'm going to make a blackberry sauce, a blackberry and cider sauce, a nod to more cider.
Add to a pan blackberries, soft brown sugar, black pepper and cider. Allow that to cook whilst you decorate the cake with the remaining spiced apples, creme fraiche, blackberries and icing sugar.
So I've cooled my sauce down, and now a little bit of sauce across the top as well. There you have it, my apple and cider cake with a blackberry and cider sauce. In a brilliant day in Somerset.
I wish you could have brought that in yesterday, William.
All of it, yeah. Now. Can we have it now?
We're saying
Thanks,
Apple can
John.
do no wrong, can
Apple,
it?
we just love Apple.
We love a bit of Apple.
What's not to love?
Do you know what else is not to love? A load of cash, and it is competition time now, and we're giving you the chance to win £50,000 plus an incredible holiday. But you do have to be quick because lines are closing on Friday, and the lovely Carol Smiley is joining us live from Loch Lomond. Morning, Carol.
Good morning! Yeah, it's cold, but it's bright and it's dry, and that's all good, isn't it? So I'll be coming to you for the next 3 days from some of my favourite Scottish locations, starting here at Cameron House Hotel. I've been coming here for a long, long time and never fails to impress. But the real selling point is the stunning Loch Lomond behind me. And if you take a look at our drone footage, you might even get to see a little bit of Ben Lomond in the distance there. Who knows? Anyway, this is the last week of our competition where you can win £50,000 of tax-free cash straight from our bank account to yours. What would you spend it on? I'll leave you to decide that. But in the meantime, don't forget that lines close at 3 o'clock this Friday, so make sure you get your entries in. Whatever you do, I don't know what I'd spend it on. I think I would probably come and stay here. It's gorgeous, and I'm sure I'd still get change out of 50 grand. Make sure you get your entries in now.
But that's not all. Thomas Cook have teamed up with Outrigger Mauritius to offer you a 10-day all-inclusive holiday for you and your family or friends. For another chance to win £50,000 and a holiday, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website or enter via the This Morning app. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 1119. Calls cost £2 plus your standard network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY02 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close on Friday the 26th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Do you know what? I knew this lip gloss was a terrible idea. Anyway, don't forget, lines close, as you said there, lines close at 3 o'clock this coming Friday. So make sure you get your entries in for that 50 grand in cash straight from our bank account to yours. I'm going to continue my Loch Lomond adventures, and I know that the sun is going to shine because I'm Scottish and I'm optimistic.
Thanks, Carol.
I love Carol Smiley. I was obsessed with changing rooms.
Yeah.
And she just hasn't aged a day. Like, that
I don't
woman
think
is
that's Loch Lomond. I think that's Tea in the Nogue, the land that is forever young. I mean, what?
Looks gorgeous, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
Even with the lip gloss. We've all been there when it gets in your hair.
Thank you. It's the freezing wind.
Yeah.
It's the whiskey. It's the whiskey, Carol. I know your trick.
Best of luck. Now, time to discuss today's top stories with Nick and Isla. Morning to the pair of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're starting with something that's actually very close to home for me. I'm from Nottingham. The Nottingham killer has been charged with manslaughter. The killer behind the fatal knife rampage on the streets of Nottingham has been warned by police for 9 months when he carried out the attack. So Valdo Kalokani? Kalokani, yeah. So he sadly killed students Grace O'Malley Kumar, Barnaby Webber, both 19, and school caretaker Ian Coates, 65, in June last year. Yesterday, prosecutors accepted his plea of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. Nick, I'll start with you. What's your take on that?
It's a tragedy, and it's unfortunately a preventable tragedy. These two students, so I take you back to June of last year, these two students were coming back after a night out. It was the early hours of the morning. The killer actually went for the bloke first, and the very brave friend, whether it's a girlfriend, I don't know, pitched in. Sadly, she paid for that with her life. And then a school caretaker, weeks from retirement, he was killed. His van was then taken by the killer, who then drove it into 3 people, one of whom received critical life-altering injuries. I say it's preventable because the person involved, Valdo Kalokani, was diagnosed as a schizophrenic 3 years prior to the attack. He was sectioned on... Now, it's too easy on these cases, and, you know, the job I do on the radio, how did it ever happen? This should never happen. Even, honestly, Sean, with careful and cold analysis, there are chances that have been missed here. Diagnosed 3 years ago, sectioned 4 times, assaulting a police officer when he or she, we don't know, tried to arrest him, reported to the mental health authorities, reported to the university because he was briefly a university student. Everybody making... and something has failed. And this young woman and young man and the guy near retirement have paid with their lives. And the question my listeners are asking, how many more women are there like that on the streets?
It's catastrophic.
Women, for that matter.
As a crime journalist, I've covered cases and murder trials. one in particular, which was incredibly sad, and a mother who was schizophrenic and she killed her own children. Now, people who suffer from schizophrenia, they have psychotic episodes, they hallucinate, they are deluded. This man turned up at MI5 and was demanding to be let in. He believed his family were being spied on, so it's not a case of an evil killer, cold and calculated, going out to kill people. This was a man who needed help. And as Nick pointed out, that, you know, he was in the system from 2020 being diagnosed. And what happened was there was a cycle of he would be detained under the Mental Health Act, which it's an emergency procedure, basically, but you can apply to extend that if you feel they're a danger. But he's then deemed safe to be let into the community if he takes his medication and if he is seeking ongoing care. That didn't happen. So we have seen multiple cycles of him going back into a mental institution to be looked after and released. He was actually on a warrant for arrest for 9 months prior to this event. And this was for assaulting a police officer. Now, he was brought to the attention of them again just a few weeks before the murders. He'd ended up in a situation, I think it was with 2 colleagues. He was, you know, being erratic and violent. So, yes, absolutely, there's a big, big failing in the system here that... and we all know that the health system, the mental health care system is under great pressure, like everything else in our health system. We know that our criminal justice system's under incredible pressure. It is not the jobs of police officers to be diagnosing people. What they can do is arrest them and put them in a cell or take them somewhere to be safe. So this is, 3 lives were lost that didn't need to. And the families, I've heard some of their interviews, it's heartbreaking, and obviously the way they feel about him is very strong and using particular words, but he has been as let down as their families.
So tragic.
Let's move on. The public could face call-up if UK goes to war. This is General Sir Patrick Sanders, who's head of the army, will underline the need for government to mobilise the nation in the event of war with Russia in a speech on Wednesday. Just looking at some statistics and numbers. So at the moment, our active service personnel is 142,000. That's 77 in the army, 32 in the RAF, 26 in the Navy, and 6,000 in the Marines. Is this just like, you know, death by 1,000 cuts, basically? Are we where we are? Because, you know, this isn't the first time I've read this story, but now given the escalation of the conflict with Russia and what's going on in the Middle East, it seems far more stark now than it ever has been.
We're trying to do more with less. That is undoubtedly true. There is an argument, obviously, that war has advanced since the days of the First World War. We now found the British Army, the army, at its lowest complement since the Crimea. Well, again, war has changed, thankfully. But you're always going to need infantry. You know, drones and tanks and aircraft can take a position. They can't hold it. You're always going to need infantrymen or infantrywomen to actually hold any territory gained. The other number that jumps out, 1960, the British fleet comprised 230 vessels. Now, 45. Yeah. 45. Now, again, warfare has changed. But what you'll hear today is if we are... And all prime ministers are guilty, so I'm not naming theirs. There's Tony Blair, there's Gordon Brown, there's David. If we are finding ourselves... We're even off Venezuela now because of concerns over British Guyana. Obviously, we know about Ukraine. We're not actively involved in the Middle East, but we have vessels and deployed there. And then, of course, we have the Houthis as well. If you're going to be all over the place, you are going to need more men, women and kit. And lastly, we've got 2 aircraft carriers that cost approaching £4 billion, which are tied up at Portsmouth because they can't even be deployed because there are problems with the engines. There are a lot of questions to be answered.
Yeah.
Wow. And just to be clear, the headlines are kind of saying, oh, could conscription be coming? That's not what he's saying. He's saying that we need to be mentally preparing ourselves that, should it come to it, we need to be willing as civilians to potentially go and serve our country.
Well, let's change tack slightly and go with that. Let's go down that little rabbit hole. I'm seeing the Rear Admiral over there. Definitely. And I think you were some kind of SOE commando style.
Oh, absolutely.
Parachuting in.
Absolutely.
No nonsense.
I'd be a proper,
Why have you put me at sea? I said I have to go out at sea and I don't see anybody.
All I see is a good captain's table there.
Oh, yes, OK. And the rum. We'll get the rum going.
You could be the Charlie and I'll be your angel.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah?
Where do I sign?
Talking of the movies, because this is a perfect...
Don't need any encouragement for that.
No, have you seen, obviously, we've had the 2024 Oscar nominations revealed yesterday. Lots of big names who we expected to be nominated, from Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro, Emma Stone, Carey Mulligan and Emily Blunt flying the flag for the Brits. But not everyone's happy, and the big news at the minute is about Barbie and almost the irony about who's been nominated and who hasn't. I mean, Isla, just fill us in a bit.
Yes, so we've got Ryan Gosling, who plays Ken, and he's up for Best Supporting Actor, while Margot Robbie, who plays Barbie, and the director, Greta Gerwig, who, you know, they have been snubbed. But what I love is that he has come forward, Ryan Gosling himself, and he said, there is no Ken without Barbie, and there is no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two people most responsible for the history-making, globally celebrated film. But one of my favourite quotes is from Women's Equality Party saying, you couldn't write this.
You couldn't.
But Greta Gerwig did. That's my one. So.
Well, I mean, the weirdest thing is, like, so Barbie's got 8 nods, including Best Picture. So you have Best Picture, but the producer, Margot Robbie, who's also the lead, isn't up, and the director, but it's still up for Best Picture.
Do you know why? OK, so I didn't know this before, but it's directors that choose the nomination for the Best Director, but it's the entire Academy that chooses Best Picture, which is reflecting, actually, that... So it's maybe, I don't know, but there's three female directors who've got films within the awards, but only one female director is up for Best Director, so yeah.
Right. This is shameful.
Such a shame.
Well, we've talked in the past on this show, this movie, Barbie, breathed life into the whole cinema. It effectively gave it a massive shot in the arm. I cannot for the life... As you said, Greta Gerwig sort of designed it and put the whole thing down. It is shameful, but I think it's elitism, isn't it? It's not sort of... It doesn't necessarily hit the right spot. Oh, we can't possibly go... Oh, we better give Ryan a nod, but otherwise we'll go forward. And I'm not knocking the other movies, but that's why these have felt, in my humble view.
I see what you're saying, almost a bit flippantly seen
absolutely.
as just a pink Barbie.
It's not serious enough, but this is the whole point of the film, is it's got a really, really serious message.
They're out of
really struck a chord with a lot of people watching.
They're out of touch with cinema goers. I mean, people have voted with their feet or their wallets, and they've gone to see this movie and paid £1 billion. They're out of touch with real people.
America Ferrera has been nominated, though, for Best Supporting Actress, so at least
that's great.
She's in there.
Well, very interesting. Can't wait to get back to that. After the break, we will be discussing more of today's top stories with Nick and Isla.
And it's proving to be a popular tool for fraudsters, but would you be able to spot an AI scam? Grace Farrell's joining us with the signs of how you need to look out for. We'll see you after this. I know. Welcome back. We're now discussing today's top stories with Nick and
Who put my breakfast there?
And suddenly we've been transported to Lilliput, it would seem. Look at this. So this is... We've got some tea. We're going to talk about our tea in a second. But Giant Croissant, Pain au Chocolat, have taken social media by storm recently. The TikTok video has gone viral that shows some people dipping Giant Croissant into a coffee and eating it. They're from London Patisserie, which is Philippe Conticini, rather. Each croissant costs £25. According to the video, could feed 8 people. I mean,
I did wash my hands, but I just want to
You're just going to take a massive bite.
I'm going to demonstrate.
Go on, do it.
It's bigger than my head. Can we see that?
Yeah.
What I love, though, is
it's actually nicer than my... There we go, it's a better view.
Did you see them dipping it into the coffee? That looked ridiculous.
Well, we need bigger mugs. We need
Nick, do the honours for us over there.
You really want me to do that?
Take a bit of croissant.
Here we go. Come on, let's make this happen.
My 3-year-old, who's a massive Pain au Chocolat fan, I mean, losing...
Wow. It's very crumbly.
It's nice.
Good.
You know what?
Oh, Nick, you've gone... I can tell this man's no stranger.
There we go.
No stranger to the south of France. Look at him.
There you go.
He knows what he's doing.
Help, it's all in my lip gloss.
Wonderful.
Disaster.
Yeah, there's crumbs everywhere.
What do we think, guys?
I'd say this is delicious.
A tiny bit of that.
It's quite a fun idea, but how do you feel about sharing?
Well, there's enough to share.
You're obviously not happy about it.
Well, I don't know. It's very like fingers in, isn't it?
We did a little bit of eating each end. You could use it as a kind of romantic tool. However, the massive crumbs, you can't do this breakfast in bed, could you, Nick?
Well, it's a nice offer. I've only just joined the Royal Navy, and now you...
Oh, no.
Maybe we should see a movie first and see how we go.
When we're planning our secret missions.
No, we couldn't eat it in bed. Absolutely not.
Oh, it's... do you know what I'm into?
Beautifully made.
It's quite,
I think that Paul Hollywood would be very impressed with the laminating of the butter. Look what
beautiful. I think the issue is, would you want to share it? like, I think I'd still prefer my own.
Yeah,
I'm not a small plate
it's a
guy,
novelty.
right?
You don't do
I'm not a
sharing.
sharing plate guy.
Oh.
So, I quite like the idea of just my own one.
Well,
Although when I'm with my son, I can kiss that goodbye as well.
My ex-husband used to literally stab my hand if I dared to go and take a chip off his plate.
Yeah.
No wonder it's your ex.
Well, be careful before you have this cup of tea, because this is actually a bit of a viral cup of tea, this. So,
okay.
I feel like I'm one of the best people at making tea. I would say...
Why?
Because I've got the knack. I've
What
got
is
the
your
backspin. I've got... I treat it with respect. It's like you've got to leave the tea in there long enough. You need to let the tea bag brew a little bit and then just drain it enough. Not too much milk.
Is there a Knott's way of making tea? Is that it?
I think the Knott's way of making tea is just making it on the hour every hour. It's just... we live off it.
What we do in Scotland, we say coup before the brew, but that means it has to be in a pot. So you've got the brew, and you have to put the milk in the cup before you...
pot of tea.
Yeah, I like.
Oh, you put the milk in first?
No, but this is you've got your pot stewing already, so it's not. But if I was making builder's brew, tea bag, boiling water, leave it for quite a while, then the milk.
Is the fact we haven't even got to the story.
Right, what is it?
You mentioned tea.
We're just telling you.
Wait, before you drink it, let me just tell you, because this is... You know how sometimes scientists get involved and tell you how to make the perfect cup of tea?
Yeah.
Well, this is a scientist from America, I'm going to say, who claims to have found the secret. Michelle Frankel, a professor of chemistry, claims that Britons use a short and stout mug, opt for tea leaves over tea bags. In terms of milk, we should be using hot milk, apparently, to reduce the chance of curdling. Hot milk?
No.
And the worst part that's really insulted me is to add a pinch of salt. Have you tried it?
Well, I'm not... hold on. Have these got salt in it?
These have got salt in.
I don't drink tea, but I'm afraid I'm a coffee guy.
Go on,
no,
try it. That'll be even more of a judge.
That is absolutely dreadful, and I'm not surprised because, you know, I've lived in America.
Railway cup of tea.
Literally, when I go in and say, can I have tea, they don't understand, and they, what kind of tea? I said, just normal tea. You have to say orange pekoe. And then if I dare ask for milk, no, this is... Sorry.
I'm like Nick, I'm more of a coffee man, right? But I've never had a decent cup of tea in America.
Neither have I. I get foamy milk in it and all the wrong tea bags, like some sort of herbal thing with tea with milk in it.
I have my British tea bags when I'm there. I spend a lot of money buying my British tea bags.
I love
I'm a Yorkshire fan.
Yorkshire tea, are you?
Yeah.
Very good. Love
Let's
that.
finish, as we always should, with Gemma Collins and her dog.
We
Gemma
always
Collins
should.
has caused public outrage as she posted a video of her Whippet, Blue, eating scrambled eggs off a table in a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
She was dining with one half of Jedward. Itself, that's the story. I mean,
Have they turned his brother into a Whippet?
I never mind the Whippet. I want to know what's going on with the Jedward Collins scenario. And the fans have called her out for being gross and unhygienic. I mean, you know.
No, I'm sorry. You know that I love my little boo.
Yeah.
She's been on telly quite a few times, and she has been known to wear some cute little outfits. But I draw the line at that. And there's all these videos online of, you know, them people putting food in a fork. No, but in a restaurant...
Every now and again, when you're on your own at home, we just like come on the table and start, and you're like,
No.
Go out.
I'd make her cut my food up for me and feed me.
I've got to be honest.
She's not smart.
I've had some girlfriends who actually Blue is eating better than them. I've got to... So I'm kind of fine for Blue on this, I'm not going to lie.
I think in a restaurant, that's not... If you want to do that in your own home, that's different. But in a restaurant, that's not acceptable. And also, people do... I mean, everything gets obviously hygienically cleaned to dishwashers, but they'll get the ick off that plate, you know.
Oh, the thought a dog has licked it,
Imagine that dog, that Whippet's having its scrambled eggs. You and I go in for our romantic... giant pan au chocolat, not knowing a Whippet's being licking it.
Gemma was eating her dinner down on the floor out of a dog's bowl. It was a complete change. I mean, I do think we need to tell the viewers that.
Just what was going on that Gemma Collins went for breakfast with Jedward? It's just
know,
more
and
questions than
I can't
answers.
tell if it's John or Edward. I still don't know.
No one ever
His hair's been
knows.
flattened.
They've
There's
never known.
There's too much going on. He's got flat hair.
We've got 30 seconds left, but we've got time for a cat masseuse.
Yes.
Is it around? Go on. Just because I'm a cat man.
of course,
And,
Oh,
and trust
look at
me,
this.
There's a masseuse that's using her cat as well. But every now and again, my cat gets on my back and does that.
Yeah,
and it's
but I think they're trying to find a nest. I mean, because I had cats until a few years ago. That's nothing special. I mean, I love the cat, but that's what cats do.
One of the great things
but usually with their claws out. I got a leg massage from my cat every morning
There
with
we go.
the claws out. Exfoliated.
Thank you, you two.
Thank you
We're
so
going to take
much.
this to bed. Sorry, we're off to bed with the...
Now, look,
with
after
the
your
chocolate
local
croissants.
weather forecast, do make sure you've got your phone close by, because we could be calling you for today's game of Spin to Win.
And we're talking scams with Grace Farrell. All coming up after your local weather forecast.
It is good, this. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Very excited because we will be playing Spin to Win in just a moment. So please remember to pick up your phone. But still to come on today's show, whether it's chaos on the cobbles or scandal in the square, Sharon Marshall is joining us with all the latest gossip from another week in Soapland. Morning, Sharon.
Good morning, guys. Listen, if you can't get your other half to do the decorating, he's not doing the DIY, I've got a little trick for you, and it involves Corrie, and I'll tell you all about it in Soapbox.
Oh, that's got me in.
I'm surprised when you realised she was sat there.
I was like, Sharon,
and then you were like, what did you do? It's like saying to the fire.
No idea.
The British delicacy is going viral on the other side of the pond. Take a look at this.
We're making jacket potato. Did we get the crisp right? Mine aren't as crispy as hers, but we're gonna try this. Okay, then I have butter. I'm just gonna like dunk it. You know what? Add the butter.
Kill me now. As the humble jacket potato becomes a big hit in the US. What? Donald's showing you how you can make your ultimate baked spud. Hey, Donald.
Yes, well, we're going to try and do better than they're doing on the TikTok. We're going to do it 3 ways, and we're also going to show you how to do a beautiful mashed potato as well. So we're just going to nail it all over. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be very, very nice. All the options.
I can't wait for that. Also on today's show, it was the big Hollywood battle of 2023. But if you've already watched Barbenheimer, film lover Sam Thompson will be revealing the other Oscar contenders that you need to add to your list. Hey, Sam.
Hello! How are you? I'm having
Look
the best
at you.
time. Look at me, I'm in a suit.
And I've never seen you so smart.
I know, with a bow tie as well, which they actually gave me out back because I didn't have one.
Zara's going to be happier with this, mate, I tell you.
She is indeed, she
You're
is
looking-
indeed. We've got some good stuff, actually. We're going to talk about some amazing movies, some big nominations. You know I'm a big film fan as well, so it's going to be great.
Lovely stuff, Sam. Thank you. And it's a show that 10 million of us are tuning into every week. But what does it take to be a traitor? We'll be speaking to Series 1 star Amanda about her time in the castle and why she believes middle-aged mums are the best liars.
Ooh, she really was so good.
Would
So
you be a traitor or would you be a faithful?
I always
The opportunity.
thought I'm rubbish at lying, so I always thought, oh, I wouldn't want to be a
But
traitor.
the more you watch it, does that change?
The more you watch it, it looks so much more fun being a traitor that you think it's a better game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before all of that, it's time to play Spin to Win.
Woo! Oh, here we go. There's loads of amazing cash prizes up for grabs. But do remember that one important rule. If we call you today, don't say hello, don't say bonjour, say today's passphrase.
I know you've only done it once, but do you think it would be remiss of us to ask Sam to guest and come in?
Let's have
spin?
Sam do it.
Sam,
Sharing
would you mind
is caring.
coming in and
Come on,
spinning
Sam.
the wheel for us?
Come on in.
Oh, my God.
You get it right, you get a chance to play. Let's get rolling.
You are dressed like the glamorous assistant.
Hello.
Come on.
Oh, this is so cool.
Right, first call. Where are you? Thank you. This is great. Spin to win, buddy.
You get to spin it, Sam.
Up to £3,000. They've got to pick up. They do a pass race. They say the
Sam,
right
we've got to hope
pass
they
race.
pick up.
You smell so good.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh.
Oh,
With a hello.
No, Gillian. Oh, never mind, Gillian. Thank you.
Come on,
the next
best of
one.
luck. Second time lucky.
I mean, listen, I love the whole kind of tuck thing. It absolutely works, doesn't it?
Look at your enthusiasm. You can't say hello with that face.
I've never held my hands like this before. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hello.
Oh!
Julie, what did we tell you?
Never mind. Line
It's been
3.
third time lucky all week, so this could be the one.
I just want to give it one of these.
Also, you're in good company because Monday was Austin Butler.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. And then yesterday
Tuesday was the Sean Welby.
The Sean Welby.
The Sean.
And then today.
We're
doing it.
Austin Butler.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. You're dressed even smarter than him, actually, to be fair.
Dance if you want. Just for the time.
Please,
So
come
that's
on.
weird. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is not.
You look like you've got a partner,
My
but
mum's
an
going to
invisible
kill
one.
me for this.
22 ring.
Hello.
Wow!
Oh, it's supposed to be Andy, but no,
It's a really tough one.
Oh, no,
round
four
Andy's
times
house.
lucky, come
How
on.
many do you do?
2 more.
2 more.
Yeah. But I've got a good feeling about this.
Sam's got to spin
What's this,
his
number
wheel.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, call a 4.
Just a
win a
soft
rip
side
roll over.
forward.
Do you like that?
Yeah, just a soft stuff.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
You
Hello?
great. Oh! Mark!
One
Get
more
with
chance.
it, man!
And then we're going to roll over. It's quite exciting.
Oh, never had a rollover.
Well, you still spin. I know. And then you just add it onto tomorrow.
Hello?
Is it if he picks up? No idea.
Oh, no. Can't hear a ringing.
Is it even ringing?
Not at the minute.
Welcome to the EE voicemail.
No luck getting through to people today. That was Emily. So
Oh,
we're going to
no.
ask you, we're going to do a little spin for you. Sam, you can do this.
Can I do it anyway?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
do a
add
really
that to
big one,
tomorrow's
Sam.
spin to win.
Here we go.
Give it some
Anyway,
welly.
I don't know why I'm nervous. I am. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
One,
process.
2, 3.
See, that's
Quite
lovely.
big.
Beautiful technique.
Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate
lovely
that.
stuff.
Look at the smoothness. Come on, let's have a big amount.
This is going into the pot for tomorrow.
Come on.
Come on. One more.
That's £2 grand.
One more.
No!
Not bad at all, though. So we add £1,000 to tomorrow.
It's a rollover.
So in many ways, you're still a nation sweetheart. You've only got, it's exactly that. It's a rollover. Well done, my friend.
Thank you so
If you
much.
fancy it like you want to play Spin to Win, entries for tomorrow's game are open now.
Yes, and remember, it's free to enter. All you need to do is download our free This Morning app and you click on the Win tab.
I have to be an 18 over lunch close at 9:30, and we could be calling you tomorrow's show, and you're guaranteed to win at least, well, more than £1,000.
So good.
Thank you, Sam. Giving you another chance to win today's competition, £50,000 up for grabs and a holiday to Mauritius. Carol Smiley's joining us from the beautiful Loch Lomond with all the details. How are we getting on, Carol?
It is literally beautiful. The sun has come out. I think I'm having more luck than you guys. Anyway, this is Loch Lomond, but I've been told today that Loch Ness is not the only one with a monster. Apparently, Loch Lomond has one too. Some people have seen some dodgy creatures lurking below the surface. I think I may know who that is, but that's a past life and we'll not go into it. Anyway, I'm here to tell you this is the final week of our competition where you could win £50,000 in cash, tax-free, straight into your bank account. Imagine what you could do with that. You could have so much fun. The list is endless. But one thing I've learned when I get older is if you don't take a chance in life and you don't do something that's a little bit out your comfort zone, then you're never going to experience an adventure. I'm going to have an adventure. Why don't you have your own adventure with that £50,000 of tax-free cash? All you have to do is enter. Make sure
That's not all. Thomas Cook have teamed up with Outrigger Mauritius to offer you a 10-day all-inclusive holiday for you and your family or friends. For another chance to win £50,000 and a holiday, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website or enter via the This Morning app. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 1119. Calls cost £2 plus your standard network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY02 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close on Friday the 26th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck!
So I've got my life jacket on, I've got my thermal vest, got my big pants, that's another story. And I'm going to go off and have a life on the ocean wave and try an adventure. Why don't you have your own adventure? Make sure you get your entries in before 3 o'clock on Friday.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
Carol.
How
Been
is-
slipping some scotch to that cameraman. He was almost in
He
the
does
drink.
not need any scotch.
Thank you, Carol.
Don't know if she's made that life jacket look trendy, but she has.
Yeah.
Now, best of luck with the competition. Last year alone, right, get this, scammers are believed to have stolen a staggering £1 billion from innocent Brits. Ridiculous.
And as criminals continue to come up with new ways of targeting unsuspecting victims, Grace Farrell from Which is here with the scams you need to look out for in 2024. £1 billion. That is insane.
I know. You know, the figures are just astounding. So, according to UK Finance, just during the first half of 2023, scammers were responsible for 1.4 million cases. That's one case every 12 seconds, and they stole over 580 million just in that 6 months alone.
Wow. Do you know what I would say is I always think I'm quite tech savvy, right? And there was a stage where I'd think I'd never fall for any of those. And it felt like they were sort of targeting slightly older people.
Yeah.
Now it seems so hard to tell.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no one is safe, really.
No, because what are the new scams that we should be looking out for now?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they kind of rear their ugly head in pretty much every aspect of our online lives. But I've got a few that are particularly, you know, we should be worrying about this year. So the first one is artificial intelligence scams. So I'm sure we're all aware of the scams where you get a message from someone who's pretending to be a family member who says they need money. It's super common. McAfee found that 1 in 12 Brits were targeted with this last year. 1 in 12? I know, and 77% of those people actually lost money as a result. And the thing with AI is that it means this scam has evolved and it's become more convincing because you can now clone people's voices and ring people pretending to be the voice of a family member. So it just makes it so much worse.
So these people, I don't know if I want to put you, I didn't know the answer to this question, but is it organised gangs for the most part, or is it just like super tech-savvy scammers?
I mean, it can be both. I think we definitely know that some of it is organised on a large scale, but it's absolutely rife, unfortunately.
Oh, I think all of us know somebody. I mean, it happened to my uncle. They do it via Facebook now as well, so it looks like, they take over your profile, and then as you chat to a family member or friend.
I know, it's so bad. And, the other thing with AI as well is deep fakes. So this is where a scammer can digitally alter an image to make it look exactly like someone well-known. So we see this sometimes with celebrities. So we'll see a sort of video of what looks like a celebrity endorsing a product online, but actually it's completely fake. I mean, this is an example. This is supposedly Jennifer Aniston with a MacBook giveaway, but this is completely fake.
That's so bad, isn't
Now
it?
you know it's fake, you can see it's fake, but if you weren't looking at it just in passing, you wouldn't think twice, I suppose.
No.
Yeah. It can be really hard to tell the difference if you don't know. But what I would say is just be really suspicious of sort of celebrity videos online asking you to invest or enter competitions or buy things or anything like that. And also, anytime a relative contacts you for money, that's a red flag. So you should ask them a question that only they know the answer to.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. Just before you even say anything else, just give them a quick quiz.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. Yeah.
Or ring them back on the number that you have saved for them as well.
The saddest thing about this, especially with the relative thing, is this is just going to make everyone so sort of cynical and distrustful.
Paranoid.
Yeah. What about QR codes?
Yeah, so this is a new sort of scam area that we're seeing more often, and it's where scammers place their own QR code on top of a legitimate one.
Oh, stop it. We're only just getting used to using these.
Well, look at this. So you often see it in car parks, and so a scammer has literally stuck their own QR code on top of another one. So when you go to scan it and you want to pay, you're taken through to a payment page, and you end up giving your details away to a scammer.
I have never heard of that. I use those pay and display car parking things all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. So just make sure it can't be peeled off, basically.
Yeah, and make sure that the URL, when you go through to the payment page, that it matches the company you're supposed to be paying as well.
I mean, that is so shocking. I'm in shock about that one. So what other steps can you take to avoid being a victim? Because I suppose you get those QR codes on menus, you get them online.
Yeah. I mean, it's just looking closely at it, and if you can see that it's been stuck on...
You get them on the screen here.
Yeah.
These ones are safe.
But also, blurry URLs, that's also a red flag.
Blurry?
Blurry, yeah.
OK, one-time password, the OTP.
Yeah, so this is where a scammer tries to log into your bank account, which prompts your bank to send you a one-time passcode to your phone.
Yes.
And at the same time, the scammer will contact you saying, we need the code, and you think it's from your bank. And so you can inadvertently give the code to who you believe to be a bank, but is actually a scammer, and then they'll have access to your bank account.
But this presumably is only when you're making a payment.
Well, yes, if someone is trying to make a payment or trying to log into your account, and it's not you, you'll verify it with a one-time passcode. But, I mean, the important thing to know is that if you ever get a one-time passcode out of the blue that you weren't expecting, then don't ignore it, because it could mean someone is trying to hack into your account. So call the bank or company and explain what's going on, and obviously don't share the code with anyone. Just delete it straight away.
Yeah, I actually had this happen to me with my phone company, and I totally fell for it. I thought they'd sent me a code to get into my account. They said that I'd overpaid. It's that classic thing.
Yeah, it can happen to anyone.
So that's mad, isn't it?
Let's just finish with online purchase scams and how can we avoid them, basically?
Yeah, I mean, so with these, they come in all different formats, but I'd say if something seems too good to be true, then it usually is. So if you see a website that is selling branded products for way cheaper than they retail for elsewhere, that's a big red flag. Also, look for inconsistencies with branding and logos, because it could be a fake website that's mimicking a well-known brand. Also, look at URLs. So you want to be seeing a padlock there, and there shouldn't be any kind of spelling errors or anything like that. And if you've clicked on an advert and been taken to a new page, you want to make sure that URL is matching the company who sent you the advert.
That's so good. One thing I would say is, I've been chatting away about those Stanley Cups because everyone wants them, don't they?
I've not heard you talk about
that seems to be one of the big scams at the minute, to try and say they've got them like for £1. or like a fiver, and I think that's really catching people because everyone's kids wants them.
Yeah.
So just beware of the Stanley Cup one because I've definitely seen a few people ask me about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Sian, for a little bit of consumer advice. Good stuff. Still to come, Dr. Zoe's back to answer your medical questions here. She is here with Tourla GP coming up after the break. Welcome back. Dr. Zoe's with us now to answer your medical questions. Hi, Doctor.
Hello, how are you?
You good?
Yeah,
Let's
good,
go straight
thanks.
to our first caller, Darcy in Kent. Hi, Darcy.
Hello.
Hello, Darcy. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm okay at the moment.
Yeah, good to know. But this is all about aura migraines. So what's your question for Dr. Zoe?
So, what are they? Why do they happen, really? And what can I do to sort of help with them? Because they are pretty bad.
Yeah, and I spoke to you just before, and you've been having them for years and years and years, haven't you?
Yeah, a long time.
Talk us through what happens when you get an aura and what your experience is, and then I'll give a bit more information about
Yeah,
it.
so it will either start with a headache or it will just be sort of my vision will start to play up a little bit where I can't sort of see properly. And I'll have like a zigzag or a blur in part of my vision, and sometimes that could be gone for 4 or 5 days. But that also comes with a really, really bad headache, like pounding, unable to do anything. Yeah, it's quite hard.
Must be scary as well,
Blurry vision for days.
Yeah, and you're particularly worried about one specific thing, aren't you, Darcy?
Yes, I'm worried because at the minute I've got quite a bad headache, but I feel like my vision's a little bit affected. So, like I say, like if I'm doing stuff around the house, I can notice that if I look straight at something, I can't really see what's on the left of it.
Yeah.
Which is quite worrying for like long term.
Yeah, you're worried about it affecting
almost
your...
getting like a blind spot.
Yeah, so we found some images, because I know you were saying you're really frustrated that other people don't really understand what this is like. So we found a little video online where it demonstrates the 2 types of aura that Darcy's explaining. So this is the zigzags, and also we call it a scotoma. Can you see there's that spot where the vision's distorted, or sometimes people get complete loss of vision? And I know you were saying, Darcy, if you're reading something, the left side of the page, you just can't read it at all, can you? Because your vision disappears.
Yeah.
Did that image look anything like your experience of it?
Yes,
it
100%.
did. Yeah.
Darcy, poor
so
thing.
1 in 3 people who get migraines actually get this symptom called an aura. It's a neurological symptom. So it often is visual. It can be zigzags or blind spots like we've seen. It can be little squiggly lines. It can be colourful spots. It can sometimes be altered smell or taste. It can be weakness, dizziness. And you get dizziness as well, don't you, Darcy?
Yeah, if like I could go to pick something up and I could just drop it because I've got like no strength in my body.
Yeah, OK. So I think the important things for me to mention to you in your case is that you mentioned that these auras in your case can last for hours or even days. We usually expect an aura to last less than an hour, and in most cases the headache comes afterwards. But I think because your auras are lasting over an hour, it is worth getting them checked out and just making sure that there isn't anything else going on. I know you've been to the opticians and they've given you a full bill of health with your sight, which is reassuring, but also you're young, so it's unlikely, but also things like mini strokes or strokes can cause these types of symptoms. So because the aura's prolonged, just worth getting it checked out again. But for anyone who suffers with migraine, whether it has aura or not, there are 3 main things to think about in terms of treatment. What are the triggers? So many things can trigger it. Dehydration, skipping a meal, being tired, stress. So keeping a really thorough diary of your symptoms and what's happening around the time, what the triggers could be. But also then you need 2 types of medication. 1 type of medication for the acute attacks. And for people who, like yourself, you're saying that 7 days out of every month you're having these symptoms, preventative medication as well. So I know in your case, Darcy, you were taking something, but then you stopped because you were pregnant. So I would definitely recommend going to your GP and getting back on a preventative treatment. There are many different types. If the first one doesn't work, there are lots of different types of treatments for that. So definitely back to your GP in your case.
Thanks
I hope that helps, Darcy.
Thanks,
Bless you. We've got Molly on line 2, who wants something to help with urge incontinence, which I have to say I hadn't heard of.
Speak amongst yourselves a moment.
OK.
Hey, Molly.
Are you there, Molly?
Hi, morning.
Morning. Talk us through, what is it like having that?
Yeah, to be honest, it's actually quite embarrassing. So I'm 39 and I've got 3 teenage children, which were all born by caesarean section. But over the past few months, I've noticed like a really big increase in an urge to run to the toilet, and it often happens with no warning. So, for example, I've been to the toilet like 3 times within the past hour, and each time I've needed to sort of run. And I just wondered why it's sort of suddenly happening. And other than pelvic floor exercises, what are things that I can be doing to sort of help prevent it?
Yeah, OK. So I've just blown up a balloon to explain what urge incontinence is. I think people tend to be quite aware of stress incontinence. So that's when you jump or sneeze or cough and the pressure on the bladder causes a little bit of urine to come out. Urge incontinence is different. So this is the bladder, and inside the bladder there's muscle, specific bladder muscle called detrusor muscle. And what you're explaining is the symptoms of an overactive bladder. And that's when these muscles contract before you're ready, before you want them to. And that can cause the symptoms you're describing, that needing to get to the toilet immediately. I know you say you get up a couple of times in the night as well, and often going to the toilet, you know, maybe every hour. There should be at least a 2-hour gap normally between us needing to empty our bladder. So what happens when your detrusor muscles, without your brain, without you telling them to do so, giving them permission, they start to squeeze, and it's really uncomfortable. You're desperate to go to the loo. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, if you can't hold on to it, then you don't trump. But the urine can come out, and I know you've had a couple of incidences. This is really, really common, way more common than... You know, lots of people don't go to their GP and get help because they think it's something women have to deal with. It's not. And there's a real movement at the moment around bladder shame and people coming forward and talking more openly. You're 39 and you said to me, you know, I feel like I'm too young to be getting these issues. And that's because we associate it with older age, but actually it's really, really common amongst people our age. So do go and see your GP. There are things you can do, so things like alcohol, caffeine can irritate the bladder, stress can as well, but there are lots of medicines and certain procedures that can be done. So do go and see your GP, make sure you get help because you don't have to live with this.
Does that help, Molly?
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much for that advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Molly, for being so open and honest. I think that will have helped a lot of people listening.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you for that, Zoe.
Thanks, Zoe. Sorry we haven't had much more time. We're just sort of out today.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a mad old show, as always.
It's a crazy show.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, though, both of you.
Thank you so
Wonderful
much.
job.
Thank you, Zoe. And still to come, well, it's all the goss. Will Tracy's affair get exposed in Emmerdale? And could this be the end of the road for one Weatherfield resident? Sharon Marshall will be joining us with all the latest soap gossip next. Welcome back. Hey, get this, it's competition time now, and you could win £50,000 plus a holiday of a lifetime. But you do need to be quick, as lines will close on Friday. The lovely Carol Smiley is joining us live from Loch Lomond with all the details. Are you all right there, Carol? Like, you're having a great time?
I'm absolutely tickety-boo, very proud to be Scottish right now, I have to say. We're on Loch Lomond. Over there is the Highland Boundary Fault Line, so as far as you can see in the distance is the Lowlands, and after that is technically the Highlands. Just a little bit of information for you there, why not? So I'm here to tell you this is the last week of the competition to win £50,000 in tax-free cash straight into your bank account. What you could do with that money, I mean, the mind boggles. I'm already thinking what I would be spending it on, but all you have to do is make sure you enter, because lines close at 3 o'clock this Friday. So best piece of advice, get your entry in now.
But that's not all. Thomas Cook have teamed up with Outrigger Mauritius to offer you a 10-day all-inclusive holiday for you and your family or friends. For another chance to win £50,000 and a holiday, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website or enter via the This Morning app. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 119. Calls cost £2 plus your standard network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY02 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over, and lines close on Friday the 26th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck!
We've been having a wonderful time here at Cameron House Hotel. They've looked after us absolutely royally, even taken us out on their boat. But don't forget, if you want to win that £50,000 cash, make sure you get your entry in before 3 p.m. this Friday. Good luck.
Look at that. We are officially well gelled.
We are. I would love
Carol,
to be there
so
right now.
beautiful. Thanks, Carol.
Cheers, Carol.
Best of luck with that. Now, almost time to get all the latest soap gossip from you-know-who, our Queen of Soaps, Shazza Sharon Marshall.
Shazza
The full title.
I can't wait for this, goss. But first, should we take another look into a dramatic week in Soapland?
Pot's still warm if you want to top up.
Are you mad? I would not let him talk to you like that.
I've got an appointment today.
Well, that's good.
You don't think that it means anything, do you, that they've called so quickly?
I also hear you're not charging rent. It's not like you to be charitable.
Oh, just lending a helping hand. As you failed to respond to our letters, we've come to recover the debt.
Listen, I know cruises, yeah? A few mojitos and the next thing you know, you just spread the eagle on a starboard.
Dad!
I got an invite from Nish. He deserves to be alone. Why are you painting him like some sort of monster? He tried to kill me.
That's not going to end well.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that in a second.
Where do we start, Sharon?
With my favourite storyline of the week.
It's a cracker,
yeah,
isn't
I
it?
love, well, anything with Steve McDonald.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit watching him eat biscuits with Eileen for years, to be honest.
He's got that lovely kind of hang-dog comedic quality,
He's
doesn't
brilliant. He doesn't even need dialogue. He can just look, as you'll see. He's refused to get on with the decorating. Right, girls? You know, it's like she's been waiting for this ceiling to be done for too long. So Tracy has hired a man that can.
Oh!
Turns out
Every
to
way,
be...
shape or form.
Yeah, get a good-looking man in to do it. That will get him looking at your skirting boards. Right, so this is Steve's footballer hero turned decorator, Tommy Orpington.
Brilliant.
Oh.
Look at his face. I don't know who's more in love with him, Tracy or Steve.
Tommy who? Tim, isn't it? You remember my name?
Your name's Steve.
Close enough. What are you doing in my house?
He's replacing you.
What?
He's decorating the bedroom. He's a painter and decorator now. So when can you start?
Tomorrow? No, I'm in France.
See you then.
Right, great. All right, I'll email an invoice over and see you then. Bye. Bye, Steve.
See ya.
See ya.
Tommy who's decorating the bedroom. I'm not going to flipping be here to see it.
But she is. I tell you what, he's charging £800, though. Talk about London prices.
That's not the going rate, is it?
No, for one bedroom.
Oh, it's a
Ken
rip-off.
Barlow.
Come on, who's in danger?
Yeah, what is this fire
we
about?
just saw the fire with Michael there. So he's in Malta Peril. That's in tonight's episode. Really dramatic scenes. He sees smoke coming out the office. He runs thinking his dad's in there. Exit blocked. Engulfed in flames, as you can see, he is panicking there. And there's also a big question about how did this all start? Because we've seen that Ed is wanting money. Is this an attempted insurance job? Have you learned nothing from watching Rocky and EastEnders? Honestly. Right, let's go over to Emmerdale. Another Tracy. I said all the Tracys are misbehaving this week in soaps. Here's another Tracy playing a very dangerous game with their marriage. Here she goes. She's got her eyes on Kayla. Poor Nate.
So I got you something.
Birch flowers.
That's explaining to do when you get home. I'll see you later then.
It's a date.
Hey, cappuccino, please.
Hey, did you get off okay?
Yeah, skipped all the way to nursery.
Oh,
Going already? I was going to buy you another coffee.
yeah. I'm already late for a meeting with Gabby. I'll see you in a bit.
Oh, this feels a little bit risky. So as
Being
Nate...
coquettish and in wellies in front of everyone in
Only
the
Emmerdale
cafe.
can do that. That's what we love about it.
We're saying everyone else is just a little heel and she's there in a Doc Martens.
Oh,
you know,
giving him
there
a
you
right
go.
kicking. But has he worked it out then? Does Nate knows what's going on?
Yeah, come on. I mean, they were chatting. is he going to figure it out? Tonight's the night. I can tell you he's going to look through a phone.
Oh,
he's getting
drama.
a little bit...
Oh, look.
That's the expression he's doing. Is that huh? Who's been sending pictures of flowers to my girl? Watch out as well for a big fight this week between Aaron and Kane. I can tell you Kane is going to end up in hospital. Is it going to be fatal? Come on, Aaron. You're supposed to be there for your mum. Poor Chaz is going through her cancer treatment. She's going to sit her family down. And a big note for Angelica as well. She's confessed it was her who caused the crash, caused Heath's death. What's happening next? Will it be a custodial the right. Luckily, the Tracy in EastEnders is pulling pints, not fellas, in this clip. I did notice she's in it as well. And the good news is that the fabulous Penny, love her, she's sticking around.
Want anything else? A job, maybe? It's my birthday tomorrow. OK, I'm not celebrating with tap water.
Well, we've asked around everywhere, haven't we?
Drug smuggling it is, then?
That's not funny. No, he's got a girlfriend.
Never stopped me.
What's wrong with you?
Well, hello. Right.
Oh, hi.
Listen, you two, you look like you could be interested in a job I've got.
Oh, I think she's interested in something else off you.
So are the six about to be betrayed?
Yeah, so Denise, keep an eye on her. She's really unravelling.
Losing it, isn't she?
Yes, losing it. She's the necklace is in the shallow grave under the cafe, in fairness. She forgets it's her own birthday. Jack's trying to get through to her. Is she going to tell all to Jack?
Love that six storyline. It's great, isn't it?
And it keeps giving. And Nish is asking questions and going around confronting Stacey, saying he remembers, because he got whacked over the head with a bottle as well. Right, Hollyoaks, we've only got a few scenes of the wonderful Myra left, but there is time for this lovely scene with Sally as they get a bit of closure for the past. Love this.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to lose you. You were my best mate. And then when I left, and you stayed and you looked after these lot. And I'm so grateful for that.
Myra, we're John Paul's parents. We'll always be mates.
So, Sharon, what's happening? Is Myra staying? Or...
Well, wouldn't we love it? I know, I love these two. At the end of us mates, because they're the parents, they've got John Paul there. She's not staying, it's just a guest appearance, unfortunately, but worth it just to have that little closure there. Big storylines coming up. Carter and Maxine. He asked her to be his girlfriend. Maxine, no, she picked such dreadful men. And it's Romeo's murder trial because he killed Rainey. But what will he plead? Will he... Oh, looking like he might be about to do a guilty plea there. So, that is Soap Lounge. Just a little smattering of murder and affairs.
How you get through it. When you get through it, unbelievable. Thank you.
So good. It makes me want to watch all of them. Like, brilliant. Now, still to come, from the ultimate baked spud to his best ever mash. I can't wait for this. Donal is continuing our week of comfort food. He has a potato masterclass. We'll see you after the break.
I'm the bad guy.
Welcome back. Now, if you're dreaming of escaping the cold weather, we're giving you the chance to win an incredible holiday to Mauritius plus £50,000.
Oh, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? But you do have to be quick as lines are closing on Friday. And Carol Smiley is joining us again, live from Loch Lomond, with all the details.
A bit warmer now, Carol.
Oh, she's in the pub now.
I'm warmer now. I've come indoors for a bit of Scottish hospitality at the Great Scots Bar here in Cameron House. This whole area was part of a major smuggling route where Highland whisky was brought in to Glasgow because we like a wee nip in Glasgow. So Valentin's got a beautiful display of different whiskies here. Obviously big major sellers, all of them. Yes. All the tourists come here and love it.
So basically I've chosen two of them. They're quite local, which is Loch Lomond. It's one of our partners as well. And Glengoyne as well, and we have something that's far north, close to Inverness actually. So it's a really Nordic whiskey, but these two are the most local ones that we can get.
The sad news is I don't actually drink. Anyway, that's not for me to worry about. The whole point is that you've got to win £50,000 of tax-free cash straight into your bank account. All you got to do is take part in the competition by before this coming Friday at 3 o'clock. Make sure you get your entry in now. But that's not all. Thomas Cook have teamed up with Outrigger Mauritius to offer you a 10-day all-inclusive holiday for you and your family or friends. For another chance to win £50,000 and a holiday, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website or enter via the This Morning app. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 119. Calls cost £2 plus your standard network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY02 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close on Friday the 26th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Never.
Best of luck. Welcome back, my friends. Good to see you, Donal.
Very good to be back.
It's potato time!
Potato time.
She's been so excited about this all morning.
But yes, Donal, when we sat in a meeting yesterday and we were like, we're doing potatoes with Donal, and then the Irish in me went, oh, God, this is the stereotype. And then I was like, surrender to it, man. We do potatoes better than anyone else.
It's so true. And, like, I think we know our potatoes. I think we know them well. We have variations. I mean, you can boil a potato and turn it into a million different things in Ireland. Kilcannon, champ, there's boxty, there's so many options. But today...
See how many words we have for mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. I'm so honestly, the potato is the elite vegetable.
Yes, but I can't believe that America has kind of taken this jacket potato moment on TikTok, and
it's like they've never seen it before.
It's the way they're just adding clumps of butter, like they've reinvented it.
Exactly.
You're reinventing
We're
it.
going to
today.
try
You
and
show us.
reinvent it. So we have jacket potatoes 3 ways. The first way is kind of an English-inspired one. We've got a Marmite butter. Now, I have to say, I never really had Marmite before I came to England, and I love it on a crumpet with a bit of butter. Absolutely delicious. Nice. So we're going to make up a very simple Marmite butter with a good dollop of Marmite.
Whoa.
I know, it's pretty heavy stuff, though. You don't need that much, but a little bit...
Would you not have it that much in Ireland, Marmite?
I don't know. I only really came across it when I started working here. Yeah. And it's just one of those things that it's very kind of quintessentially... I mean, look, we have Marmite in Ireland, of course, but it is very quintessential, like having it on a crumpet with a little bit... Or toast. Fleur, who is in the hospitality here, the first time I had Marmite, she made me Marmite on toast, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten.
I love that.
She can come up here next for the next cook, OK? We'll organise that.
So you're adding it to the butter?
Adding it to the butter, and we're going to take a dollop of this beautiful Marmite butter and splodge it into a little bit of our jacket potatoes. Now, to make our perfect jacket potato, I have it 3 ways, but to make our perfect jacket potato, you're going to take your regular potato, something that's floury, a King Edward, Mars Piper is really good, poke it all over with a nice sharp knife, and then you're going to rub it with salt and a little bit of oil. If you want it even more crispy on the outside, a little bit of water and salt is the way to go. But the oil gives you that kind of moist exterior and that fluffy inside. Yeah. Really good.
Is there a way of cooking it that's like quickly? Because they do take an age.
They do take a while. I've heard, pray tell, of it being done in a pressure cooker. Have you heard of this before? You wrap them and you put them in a pressure cooker if you want to do it really quickly. But the best ones, I think, are put straight onto the rack. This is how my mum used to do it, in an aga or in one of those kind of old ovens, and you just literally bake it, leave it, almost forget about it, an hour and a half in the oven, and that'll do the job. And
what, like 180,
180, yeah. Kind of slightly like a warm, hot oven is what you're after. But look, once it comes out of the oven, you get left with these beautiful jacket potatoes. And this is the magic. I mean, this is what the Americans are going nuts about at the moment. Once you have them at this stage, you can, as all I've done is slice them over the top. And as you can see, you really want to massage them with that salt over the side so you get that kind of crispy exterior. With your sharp knife, all you're going to do is slice it in half like this and go across. But the trick to getting that perfect, like, expose is to slice it from under, or slice it across and then push it up from underneath, and then you get that reveal of the inside. Nice. Fluffy, gorgeous, all the things you want. Now, we're going to take our first version. So Marmite, cheese, really good. We've scooped out the inside. I've mashed in our beautiful Marmite butter. And all you're going to do is take up beautiful dollops of this and plop it straight into the top of this. So remember, we've got mash in here and we've got our Marmite butter in here. So it's, a little bit of extra Marmite there. You're going to finish them off with a bit of cheese in the oven, and they are absolutely spectacular. I get very excited about this.
Would that butter then melt while it's being cooked then?
That butter will melt, that Marmite will cook through, the cheese will melt up. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, finish it off with some cheddar, and then this goes straight into the oven. And I had one of these while I was waiting to do this, and genuinely, I've been eating already, and they are phenomenal. So you definitely have to try this one. Now, I've only got 3 minutes, so I'm going to rock through the next 2. So we've got mushrooms. Really simple one. A really simple one is some garlic mushrooms. I've just softened them down, and then I'm adding a good dollop of creme fraiche. And once you have this garlic mushroom mixture, all you're going to do is fill that. So, like, the beauty of, I mean, look, we're talking jacket potatoes. It's comfort food. So any topping you fancy, like someone came into the kitchen earlier and was saying, baked beans, like just baked beans and cheese is all you need. Like we're going fancy here, but you can just keep it as simple as possible and pop them into the oven like I've done, and you have something that's so, so good. Now, so a little bit of garlic mushrooms over the top, really, really simple. And this is so tasty.
I've never had one on a jacket potato though, have you?
Not here. Let me put some over to your plates, and you can get stuck in.
Oh, it
grab
smells
one of those.
gorgeous.
Yeah. So, Janie Mac, they're falling apart. But look, that's how good they are.
That's how
that's
soft and that's how massaged they are.
Exactly. I was massaging them too hard.
You were.
Here, finish them off with some more of those
Caressing them.
beautiful things. And, you can have chives, you could add parsley. Really, really simple. So that's 2 for you, very simple ones.
That is delicious.
The finishing touch. Last one.
Let's do
is
this.
Blue cheese and a little bit of caramelised onion. So pop in your blue cheese. I don't know about you, but absolutely love caramelised onion and blue cheese. The combination is spectacular. And you could even go a little bit extra bacon over the top, and it is phenomenal. So good.
Some of those rashes are
So nice. That actually is very quick to make.
Really easy. And, it's up to you. The toppings are up to you. So let me grab the other plate and I'll
love
put this
that.
down.
Oh, thanks, Emil.
Now, simple stuff. So, look, that'll come out of the oven. It'll only take a few minutes.
Masterclass.
Quick, masterclass. Come on, hang on a second. OK, we can do this.
I love
you put me
this
under
so
pressure.
much.
3 types of potatoes and a mashed potato. So we're going to talk about mashed potatoes. Take a cold pot of water. You've got peeled, beautiful potatoes, all evenly.
Why do you go cold rather than
any
boil
root
water first?
vegetable? Always start cold so that it cooks evenly as it comes up to temperature. Plenty of salted water, because it does take on that salt as you're cooking it out. What you should be left with is beautiful tender mash. And the top tip on getting this really good mash is to use a potato ricer. It's a bit of an investment, not too expensive.
How come? What does it do?
It just gives you that, see that fine crumb you're seeing there? So easy. And if you
Wait, is that potato?
That is potato.
I thought it was rice.
Well, this is it, because it's potato ricer. You see what I did there?
And now I'm following. You're going so quick. Yeah,
Well, there's
that's
3
amazing.
bleeding potatoes to get through, for God's sake. Now, OK, so once you've got it to that stage, if you use a potato masher, what I will say is you do tend to get a little bit of lumps, but this potato ricer is what really gives you that fantastic finish.
Wow.
Now, to bring this alive, milk, butter, and cream, OK? They are my top tips.
You can't do too much, can you? That's the thing.
Get it in there. And the beauty is that once you have that ricer, that texture is completely different. And you can see, just with a little bit of salt and pepper, brings it together. Come on. Mash masterclass, 3 types of potatoes. What more do you want from me this morning? The Irishman is here to make the potatoes, and I hope you're happy now, OK?
I've never been happier. Never.
I'll get you some of this. So a little bit of white pepper, a little bit of sea salt. Always important that you season it up and make it look gorgeous. People kind of sleep on white pepper. It's one of my favourite ones. Here, OK, we're going to go. So you get some
The details of today's recipe, let me tell you, you can head straight to This Morning app.
Or Donald said he will come personally to your house and just do this whole thing in 10 minutes.
I'm going to do it. Try firing out potatoes. Let's do this. Good.
That is a
so
dream, Donald.
nice.
Simple. And you can do that creme fraiche, chives, anything you fancy in there. So good.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. 6 minutes, bosh. Now it's time to check in with the loose women. What's on the show today, Christine? And hello.
Hi, Sean. Good to see you. Hi, Dermot. Well, she's back. Today, lioness turned queen of the jungle. Jill Scott is on the panel. She'll be giving her take on our hot topics, from whether you should ever work with your partner and can you be too competitive. And as Ryan Gosling claims there's no Ken without Barbie, should he make a stand by refusing his Oscar nomination? And we are in the presence of greatness, not just Jill. Fresh from her victory on The Weakest Link, Janet reveals the secret to being a winner. Isn't that right, Janet?
Not with this bunch of losers.
Oh, yeah, she's back. All of that to come. See you soon.
Yeah, good luck with that, Christine. To come, you've already completed Barbenheimer. Sam Thompson's going to be talking us through the Oscar-nominated films you didn't know you needed to watch.
Yeah, some good ones in there. And also, with just 3 episodes to go, will the faithfuls come out on top, or could the traitors take the crown? Well, we're going to be looking ahead to the final series with Series 1, Amanda, and also criminologist David Wilson. We will see you after the break. We've made it.
This is lovely, isn't it? Wonderful stuff. Welcome back. Now, it's the biggest night of the year in Hollywood, of course, as the Oscars race heats up. Well, we're going to do an item when it's time to welcome our host. Here we go.
Welcome to this morning's review of the 2024 Oscar nominations. No one else was available, so our host for this afternoon is Sam Thompson.
Oh, Sam Rubin? Famous American Sam Rubin is that? Oh, hi. Hey!
Hello,
Sam.
Sam.
There he is.
Sam, you look great. No photos, please, no. The Dermot O'Leary spin. That he does on X Factor, that I've definitely seen a million times.
Listen, man, we're so grateful for you to be here. It's so nice to have you here with us. But you're a huge film fan, aren't you?
Oh, massive, mate. When I was a little bit younger, I used to stay up really late, as I said, to watch the movies. I don't do that anymore, but yeah, I used to really, really enjoy it. And now I'm on the podium, I feel a little bit like Jimmy Kimmel. and I feel quite good. I'm not going to do the Ricky Gervais Golden Globes, though. So
we're not going to get a roast.
We don't mind, but just after 9 o'clock, maybe. But Sam, you look good there, man.
Thank you, mate. I feel great, I'm going to be honest.
Suits you, I have to say. So where do we start?
Well, look, I think we start straight from the off. We're talking nominations, mate. Yesterday saw the highly anticipated release of the 2024 Oscar nominations. Some of the big hitters were, of course, Oppenheimer, who lead the way, actually, with a massive 13 nomination, Poor Things, with 11, and Killers of the Flower Moon, with 10. I love Leonardo DiCaprio so much. Yeah. Stars include Emma Stone, Bradley Cooper, and Robert De Niro. They're up for acting prizes, with Carey Mulligan and Emily Blunt flying the flag for us Brits, which obviously we love. But I'm here, obviously, to talk about some of the films that you might not have watched that you do not want to miss. This is
gold
fun.
envelope.
Yeah. Do I enjoy this? Movie 1. Here we go.
I feel quite tense.
And the winner is, well, the nomination is.
I'm practicing my acceptance speech.
It's Past Lives!
Oh, lovely.
It's Past Lives. Well done, Past Lives. And we're now going to watch a little clip of Past Lives before I delve in.
Lovely.
Thank you.
There's a word in Korean, 인연. It means providence or fate.
What a good story this is. Childhood sweethearts who reconnect 20 years later and realize they were meant for each other. In the story, I would be the evil white American husband standing in the way of destiny.
Shut up.
만약에 네가 한국을 떠나지 않았다면 우리가 사귀었을까, 헤어졌을까, 부부가 됐을까, 아이들을 가졌을까?
Want you to stay.
Unbelievable.
Lovely.
What a beautiful trailer, not even movie.
Great, isn't it?
Past Lives is nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay. Of course, you can even see it there. It's so good. It follows 2 childhood friends over the course of 24 years while they contemplate the nature of their relationship as they grow apart, living different lives. Now, it stars Greta Lee, who we actually know from Netflix's Russian Doll and Apple TV's The Morning Show, alongside John Margot. Now, what I really like is it's semi-autobiographical. That's not even the word.
No, we know what you mean.
Biographical. That's the word.
We're getting the gist.
It's a tough
Don't worry,
one.
mate.
And it's inspired, this is what I love, inspired by real events from the director, Celine Song's life, which I really like. It's very exposing for her.
Oh, I was going to say, it looks like a tearjerker, that one.
In a really beautiful way, though, as well. And what I love is the budget.
Go on.
12 million.
Nice.
Compare it to Oppenheimer, 145, and you got Barbie at 100.
So that's considered low budget, is it, these days? 12 mil?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, before you move on to your second film, Sam, I want to introduce our very own Oscars genius. Our floor manager, Jack, has an encyclopedic knowledge of... Thank you, yes, absolutely.
Where's Jack and his lovely bow tie?
So, Jack is going to give us a jacked fact about every film Sam talks about. So, Jack, what's your first jacked fact with Past Lives?
So, with Past Lives, it's one of the shortest films nominated for Best Picture this year, 106 minutes, compared to Killers of the Flower Moon, which is nearly double at 206 minutes.
Lovely.
If it does win Best Picture, it'll be the 11th shortest Best Picture winner in all of history.
Wonderful, thank you.
Good knowledge.
That's kind of stuff just like trips off the tongue for that guy. It's incredible. Well done,
Amazing.
Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Well, what's next, Sam?
That was so good.
I know.
I love it. Also, a Leo movie is always a really long movie. Always. But I don't mind that because I love Leo. Now, movie 2 on the nominations list. This is so fun. Is... The Holdovers! It's The Holdovers! Now, I love The Holdovers. Let's watch a clip of it now.
Hello, Mary. I had you guys stuck with babysitting duty this year. How'd you manage that? Do you think I want to be babysitting you? No, I was praying your mother would pick up the phone or your father would arrive in a helicopter or a flying saucer.
My father's dead.
You don't tell a boy that's been left behind at Christmas that nobody wants him?
I find the world a bitter and complicated place, and it seems to feel the same way about me. I think you and I have this in common.
No matter what you are.
I'd like to propose a toast to my two unlikely companions. This is your Rubicon. Do not cross the Rubicon.
Looks great.
I was going to clap then.
Well done.
It deserves it. It really, really does. I absolutely love it. What would you do if you were stranded at boarding school in Christmas?
I feel like it sounds fun to have the run of the school to yourself.
Yeah, to be fair, that is quite jokes. There's a little part of it where he goes into the gymnasium and just starts messing around with all the mats and stuff. Goes on like a trampoline, really cool.
You'd raid the staff room, see all the secrets.
All the biscuits as well.
Yes.
I go to the basement and try and find the Philosopher's Stone, but I don't think that's
And the Snape would be against you there.
That's very true.
And I've shown the inner geek. But look, let's talk The Holdovers. It's nominated for 5 Oscars. Best Picture, Best Actor, Paul Giamatti, who I love, Best Supporting Actress, Davine Joy Randolph, and Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film Editing. So there's a lot there.
Wow.
And it deserves every single one of them. The Holdovers is actually directed by acclaimed director, Alexander Payne, who got quite the full trophy covered, actually. He's got 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA Award, and 2 Golden Globes. So, you know, it's pretty big. Anyone who's hiring him is going to be on to a winner. The film is actually set in 1970s as well and follows a cranky teacher, Mr. Hunham, played by Paul Giamatti, who works at an American prep school. Now, the beauty of this is he's forced to stay on campus during the Christmas break to babysit the handful of students who have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So at the start, you're like, oh, they're clashing heads. It's, you know, it's going to be one of those films. But then it gets heartwarming near the end, and I absolutely adore it. Now, Paul's character forms an unlikely bond with the troublemaking student, much like myself. This is why I think I connect with it quite well. And
did you go to boarding school?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I stayed there most weekends, so I kind of know how it feels.
Right.
But you loved it so much.
Do we have a Jack fact for this as well, Jack, if you would?
We do, a very brief one. So Paul Giamatti, as you said, a brilliant actor. Even though he is hot favourite to win Best Actor, of all the 5 actors nominated, he is actually, in percentage terms, he's in his film the least. He's only in about 50% compared to Bradley Cooper, who's in 70% plus of Maestro. So it'd be very interesting, even though it's a shorter length performance, still a very great favourite to win.
Wonderful stuff.
How does he know?
OK, we're up against it, so
basically,
poor thing.
if you get beaten by him, you're Bradley Cooper, you're like, well, you must just be a better actor. I'm not even in it. I love Bradley Cooper. Now, film number 3 on the nominations list. Here we go. It's Poor Things!
Oh, yeah!
This is a banger. You're going to want to watch this trailer now.
OK.
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Oh, she's an experiment.
Good evening.
Her brain and her body are not quite synchronized, but she's progressing at an accelerated pace.
Tell me, where did she come from?
I shall, for it is a happy tale.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
A woman plotting her course to freedom. How delightful.
Great, Sam.
Now, this is brilliant because it's based on a 1992 novel, actually, which follows Bella Baxter, which is Emma Stone, we all love Emma, a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist, Dr. Godwin Baxter. You can see in there, it's up for so many awards and best set and makeup as well, which you can see is beautiful. I've enjoyed every second of this.
Well,
back to you.
Sam,
thank you.
Wow.
Our showbiz correspondent.
Thank you.
Hollywood A-list over there. Love that. Hey, some exciting news, actually, is that ITV is the home of the Oscars, and you can watch the 96th Academy Awards red carpet and ceremony hosted by Jonathan Ross live and free from 9:30 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX on Sunday, the 10th of March.
Great, looking forward.
You'll be watching that, Sam?
Great, Jonathan
Absolutely,
doing it
of course.
as well. Now, it's the hit, thanks, Sam, it's the hit show, The Script the Nation, once again. After weeks of betrayal, backstabbing and some very clever gameplay, just 3 episodes left of the second series of The Traitors.
Oh.
Welcome to the Traitors' Castle. Things are about to get quite dark. I will now select the traitors.
I think we have a really strong group.
No one's safe.
Paul just could be my son, but Ra says you will all get 1 vote each, and whoever gets the most votes will be banished from the castle forever. I am a faithful.
I'm a faithful traitor. The time is now that it's Paul. I'm voting for Jazz.
Whichever faithful's lips touch the poison chalice first will be murdered. My job here is done.
The player who was murdered by the traitors is...
Traitor. He wished to recruit you as a traitor.
I've voted for Paul. I'm a traitor.
Ross, we wish to recruit you as a traitor.
My mum was murdered, so I will take revenge.
Oh,
so good.
So good. But ahead of the final, what does it really take to conquer the castle? Well, today we're going to get a lesson in the art of treachery from former traitor Amanda Lovett, as well as David Wilson, who has spent most of his career sussing out some of Britain's biggest criminals. I don't know when to start.
We have to pick up on David when he just...
Yeah, what were you saying about Paul there?
Oh, Paul, for me, gave off lots of vibes about psychopathy, I have to say. I mean, never mind being a traitor, I felt there was something much more clinical going on. I really loved the bow at the end.
Yeah.
He seemed to enjoy things too much.
It's all right.
Very
Amanda.
theatrical. Very theatrical, wasn't he?
Amanda, for experience, what personality traits make a good traitor?
Well, everybody talks about it as a game of treachery and deceit, but it's a game of trust, especially for the traitors. That's why I became the mum figure, because everybody trusts their mums, their middle-aged aunties. You know, and you're going to invest that trust, and even if you have a little doubt, you don't want to accept then that they are a traitor because you've invested your trust into them. So... yeah, so I was mother by day, murder by night.
As you do. I love that, though, because you can tell you are a warm character in real life. But was it more fun, do you think, being a traitor?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, who doesn't want to be the king and queen in a game of chess, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? You're going to be getting those pawns.
It's like you interview an actor. They always say, oh, it's so much more fun playing a bandit.
Oh, yeah.
He's a villain.
But we've all got a dark side, haven't we? We've all got a little dark side.
Are you watching it this year and then going back to your time on it, did you have a game plan when you come in, or do you have to adapt with circumstances?
Yeah, you adapt with... I mean, I didn't. A lot of them did have game plans. I just went in there to have a bit of fun, free breakfast, away from the 5 kids. It was good. I murdered a few people on the way. Great.
But did you incorporate a game plan as you went on?
Yeah, I think, you know, Wilf was very good. He was a very good traitor. And, yeah, we just had to you've got to keep that trust. And then instead of sort of planting the seeds, I think I would scatter the seeds more. So somebody would mention a name, and then I could pass that on, so nothing would come back to me. Because I think if you're mentioning too many names, people think, well, why are they trying to deflect? Why are they? So it's about scattering the sort of...
This is it. Oh, David, you know, there's an art to lying, isn't there? And some people are very good and some people almost trip themselves up.
Oh, there absolutely is. And remember, I've had the privilege of sitting next to Amanda for a few hours now, so I don't know why you're believing a word she says. But the key thing is that you've got to incorporate the lie and believe the lie that you're telling. And interestingly, isn't it, Amanda said, herd instinct plays a great deal here. You've got to mirror what the group is after. And Amanda actually said, you know, who doesn't want to trust their mother, you know, because she played the universal mother. But remember, she was thrown under the bus by Wilf, who clearly didn't trust his universal mother. But there was a great sense of Amanda understanding a herd instinct and what the group wanted to see.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because it's not about necessarily being the quietest, because everyone's going to suspect the loudest.
Yes.
But it's kind of just about putting yourself in the pack, right, in the middle, the grey man.
You've got to sort of, even it out a bit and just suss everybody out, but not be too loud or too quiet.
So what are they getting wrong this year? Because the traitors have had a tough time.
The traitors are fighting against each other.
Yeah.
They're not fighting against the faithfuls, you know? They're just recruiting other traitors all the time. They've missed their opportunity with Diane. My gosh, what a strong woman. I know she didn't want to be a traitor, but she's kept such a good secret in there. She could have easily been a good traitor and really good alliance. But I think they're just, you know, you've got to remember they're just recruiting men, and someone always wants to be the chief, don't they? And when you've got 3 men as traitors,
someone is going to keep getting thrown under the bus because they're fighting for that.
So you need, it's almost like you need to play against that kind of alpha male instinct, right?
Well, otherwise you're all, like you say, you're sort of pitting each other against each other, and before they know it, I think I do feel like it's going to backfire in the coming episodes, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Harry has revealed too much.
Harry played a blinder at one point.
Playing
So
really
explain
well.
what Harry's done.
Oh, so Harry is a traitor and had formed a great alliance with Paul, but he suddenly put Paul under the bus, and now he's given just too much information. One of the things we discussed earlier was confirmation bias. They've made up their mind as the faithfuls that Harry's a good guy, and they're not looking for the evidence. They've decided Harry's a good guy, and therefore they ignore the other evidence that would show that he, in fact, is a traitor. By being too loud, by stepping out of the herd, he's drawn attention to himself, and I think he'll get picked off as a consequence.
Which, is a shame because he did do so well. Just quickly, Amanda, based on all of this, who is your front runner then to win this?
Well, I would like to see Harry in the final because he has played a blinder, you know. I'd like to see him, Ross, Jazz. I mean, Jazz should have had the crystal ball. Doesn't matter about Tracy. I love Tracy, but, you know, he's had it right all along. And Evie. But I would love the traitors to declare to the faithfuls that they are traitors, but then, come on, Ross has got to have one for Mum, hasn't he? He's got to throw Harry under the bus and have one for Diane.
Oh, I love that.
Amanda, David, thanks a million.
Thank you so much. Well, the Loose Women are coming up next on ITV1. What's on the show today, Christine?
Thank you very much. Coming up here, as the head of the army says the military is too small to go to war. Would you fight for king and country? And should we bring back national service? And after Sir David Jason has shared details of an almighty argument between himself and Nicholas Lyndhurst, does a good old row clear the air? And guess what? Jill Scott is back on the panel as well. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Thank you. On Tomorrow's This Morning, we get set for the dramatic conclusion of The Traitors, joined by whoever leaves the show tonight.
Yes, and Queen of Action Drama, Vicky McClure, is going to tell us about rubbing shoulders with the King and Trigger Point.
See you, bye.